Well,
no worries.
Wouldn't be the first time. It's probably not going to be last. So here I am, beautiful Utah. I'm sitting down here down by Mount Pleasant. I'm actually at Derek's cabin, and as everyone saw earlier, the electrician was just there. He just got the electricity hooked up for me minutes ago. So I'm excited. I have lights tonight. I was gonna sit there like Abraham Lincoln with a lantern. So. Well, Aaron, earlier today, you and I were talking and just kind of talking a little bit about some questions that people had and discussing Sisel. So, tell us a little bit, kind of give us your background. How did you actually get started with Sisel for some of those people who don't know?
Well, Doc, it's good to be here, and for all the other people that are joining us today and this morning. There in Australia. How about that? It was about 10 years ago, folks, that I had a chance to come down to meet Sisel. Many of you may or may not know that my midlife crisis was racing bicycles, and as a result, I started a bicycle racing team, became very competitive, started racing in Category 3 races, from 5 to 4 to 3, and the next one is Pro 1-2. And that gets into a little different group of people, a little more dedication, probably a little bit younger than I. But at any rate, when I started my team, I really didn't think much about it in terms of putting together a group of people that we would actually be out there racing and the camaraderie and all that good stuff. But what I realized is we didn't have a real great team atmosphere. And so I started a team to try to race like the Tour de France guys. I started to try to really identify, how can we work together? How can we be a part of something that's bigger than just one person? How can we work hard to sacrifice for another person on the team? What do we need to do in order for us to have a successful racing team? And so at that time, when we started, it was small. It was a grassroots effort. But by the second year, we had about, I'd say, 135 people roughly on the team. And as a result, when you got a bunch of people riding around town in spandex and they're pulling off different companies that are on that kit. Sisel had given me a call and said, "Listen, we want to look at your team. We want to sponsor it." And I said, "I don't know who you are." And so they finally talked me into coming down and taking me for the manufacturing facility. I walked into this manufacturing facility. I've never looked back. I walked in. Tom Maurer Sr. met me at the door. In the lobby, he said, "Listen, Aaron, I'm Tom Maurer Sr. I'm the founder of the company. I'm take you for a tour." And so we walked around for a good solid, I'd say probably hour and a half. And while we were walking and talking and looking at his factory, this beautiful facility, he said, he talked about his mission, and he talked about his vision. He talked about his strategy going forward. He talked about the things that he loved doing, the passion that he had, the commitment that he had. And as I was sitting there listening to him, I was somewhat mesmerized by this man who literally had put over $100 million of his own cash into the company to build this company going forward. And I was intrigued. I had a great business background. I was a vice president officer of a couple of very, very large utilities and companies. And as a result, I had a good business acumen, but I didn't know anything about multi-level marketing or network marketing. I knew nothing. And so Tom said, "Let's go over and sit down in my office in my conference room. Let's talk again." So we sat there for a good, probably 4 hours at that point, and I just asked all kinds of questions. What is it that you do, and how do you do it, and why is it that people come together, and why is it that people work with other people, and without the networking aspect of it, et cetera. And as we sat there chatting and talking and going through a lot of details, what I realized is that this man had a vision for everything. He had thoughts, ideas, etc. And it was really fun to just sit there and listen to a person who had so much success, but with all the humility in the world, just sat there and told me about what he wanted to do with Sisel, how he sold his previous company, et cetera, et cetera. By the end of it, he looked at me, and admittedly, I probably, as you guys know, with Tom Maurer Sr., I probably talked for 15 minutes. He probably talked for 3 hours and 45 minutes at that time. But the fact was that everything he said, I just hung on every word. And what ended up happening at the end of that conversation is that he said, "Why don't you come work for me?" And I said, "You know, Tom, I ride my bike a lot. I was doing my own deals." And he said, "Aaron, I need your business background. I need the acumen that you bring to the table. I don't have that. I've got the multi-level marketing guys and network marketing guys. I don't have the guys that have your background." And I said, "You know, let me think about it." And after a couple of weeks of going back and forth and chatting, I said, "Yeah, you know what, I'll come in and help you guys put together your organization and really understand the business side of it. You know, who sits where, are they in the right departments, are they in the right seats? Just because they can fog a mirror, meaning they're alive, doesn't necessarily mean that they're in the right position or that their skill sets are being utilized correctly." And so at the end of that conversation, on the last phone call, I said, "Let's get through the holidays," which is here in America, we had Thanksgiving and for me, celebration of Christmas coming up, New Year's. I said, "I'll start on January 5th," and that was 2009. The joke of the story is that I said, "Hey, I'll give you 6 months." That was 10 years ago. So that was that was my entry into this incredible company. The sideline joke is that Tom had me so convinced by the time we were done talking that I was dying as a result of not having the right products, the right nutritional supplements, that I was absolutely, I was going to get those products in my hand. At the time we had Sequoia, we had Spectra AO, which was our antioxidant drink, and then we had Supermax for him or Supermax for her. And those both were more like what our Spectramax is combined with the Spectra AO and the Supermax for him and her. So we combined those later on, but at the time they had those three items. And I walked out with an armful of products, and I literally went to my car. I sat down in the front seat. I was in front of the office, and I leaned my seat back in the car, and I opened up that bottle of Sequoia. I drank right out of the bottle. I put it down. I grabbed the Spectra AO. I grabbed the Supermax for him. I went down. I thought, you know what? I better just live another day. I better go ahead and hit it again. So I went ahead and opened them up again, and I went through each bottle, and then I was able to drive home and live another day. And since that day, I've been very, very focused on the nutritional side of the business, on the the health side. Obviously, there's a lot of opportunities for wealth, and that comes with people sharing. Once you have that testimonial, once you have that basic need. But for a lot of people, I think that's a difficult thing, is to really understand all of that comes with the fact that you have a disease somewhere in here that delivers the words obviously up through the brain and escapes through the mouth, that you can actually articulate a sentence that says, "I can't believe how much I love these products," and that's really what happened to me.
You bet. You know, you have pants on today?
Yes, I do.
Inside joke. But one of the questions a lot of people have is that, you're involved with the company, and Tom, he has this vision. I mean, like no one else. I mean, by the time he tells you guys something, I mean, he already sees it happening, right? That's kind of how I see him. That's how I've had it described. But, in reality, where's the vision? Where are we going? What's going to, where do you see us going in the next couple of months, next couple of years, based on the growth that we've had over the course of the last year?
It's an exciting time. One of the things that we did back in October of last year was we made this massive transition. We changed our comp plan, and we made a promise that we were going to keep it and stabilize it. We were going to do everything we could to give you guys something that you could work on for the rest of your life and know that it wasn't going to be tweaked or changed or damaged in any way, potentially meaning your business. The other thing we did was we came out with a great new look, a great new feel, new logo, new life, if you will, into Sisel. And we knew at that time that it was important for us to do some basic foundational pieces, grow where we're planted. Let's really focus on those markets that we're currently in. Let's not look at a bunch of new markets. We did that for a number of years. And guess what? We continue to keep about the same trajectory in terms of our growth model versus going out and identifying the best markets that we could focus on, how those markets grow and blossom. And then as time came along, we might look at new markets and look at opening up markets. One of the things that we've identified is that it's important for us now that we have just over a year under our belt with the new compensation plan, new website, new back office, et cetera. Now it's time to really grow and really focus on those markets. So one of the things you guys are going to see is that you're going to see a huge amount of activity happening around the world. We've got a lot of great events that are coming up. We've got a number of individuals that you guys are going to see coming out to different markets in different parts of the world that you guys haven't seen before. I don't want to give away the farm, and so I won't do it on this call, but you guys are going to see some announcements coming out very, very quickly where you're going to see some people that will be coming out, for instance, to Australia. Thomas and Lisa were planning on coming down there the first or second week of December. They're still focused on it. They're excited about it. They can't wait to be there. But Thomas hasn't had a chance to really get outside the U.S. with Sisel. When he was a little kid, he got to travel with his dad to different parts of the world with his previous company, but not with Sisel. So it's an opportunity, a huge opportunity for him to come out and spread his wings a little bit and be a part of the growth that you guys are experiencing in Australia, and also look at where some of the other growth might happen. Obviously, you guys aren't too far from where we're shipping from right now. We want to look at maybe potentially that coming on board here in the next couple of months. Maybe we do a pre-launch, a little bit of a soft launch to get people going and enrolling people, and then as we start to build up and blossom there, we maybe bring somebody in, somebody who's not far behind where we think we need to be. But we want to do it the right way. We want to make sure that people are supported there, the products are there, etc. So you're going to see that. Japan has a big event coming up at the end of January. We've got a Pennsylvania event for a regional here in the U.S. Thomas and his father, Tom Jr., will be there. Super cool event where you've got the father and son that are actually speaking at the same event. That's going to be great. Milo's got a bunch of trips happening here in the U.S. where he's going to be out in the Midwest and traveling different parts of the West Coast and East Coast. So you've got those activities that are really promoting the U.S. And then we've got a big EU convention. Now, Doc, you've been over there to the EU convention. It's going to be in the same spot, Lake Balaton in CFO. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. You had a great time last time you were there. You experienced all kinds of wonderful things and people. And so we're excited about doing that event. That's at the end of April. It'll be the 26th and 27th. We're going to wrap a little bit of a contest around that worldwide for those people that want to visit and come out and spend some time with us and have it the same time. And then we're looking at a leaders retreat and also talking about another Mara Mountain. We had a great attendance at the Mara Mountain this year. We may do it a little bit differently for the next one, but we're definitely looking at how we can continue to fill the calendar and give you guys the things that you need to get people out to events. The nice thing for Australia is that you've really got a little different relationship in terms of the tour. You've got these 6 or 7 different markets that really need to be supported. And so we want to make sure that we hit those markets and that we have the leadership that will help us get into those markets, find the venue, organize the people, make sure that we've got the right amount of chairs to fit the number of people that need to be there. And we can only do that with the local influencers that are going to help us get there. So it's going to be a huge year, in my opinion.
You bet. Well, Katie, why don't you unmute yourself? I know you have some more questions for Aaron regarding some things in Australia. If you want to throw them by him a little bit here. Just hit your unmute button. There you go.
Hi, Aaron. How are you going?
Hi, Katie. Good to see you.
Good to see you. So I think you kind of answered them a little bit in regards to Australia. So what does the next 12 months look like for Australia, and what is the main focus for us?
Well, as you know, with Jim O'Reilly, the fact is that with some health issues, he had to step down as our GM, and we really appreciate him all the accolades in the world. He really's foundation has set up a market in a really great way, but with his absence, we need to find another person there quickly. And if you guys know anybody that looks like a great sales manager or even general manager, I would take either right now. Somebody that can keep the activity going, really understands our business, really understands the people that we try to bring into this company more like family, not necessarily looking for people that are all hype and really no substance. We want people that actually have a brain and a heart, and they want to see people succeed. But the other side of it is that we also want to see that we're doing the right things for Australia in terms of the support. We've got a great group of people in our customer service. They do a phenomenal job. We have a lot of communication with them on a daily basis. But I still really need to get somebody down there that is on the ground, focused on you guys on a daily basis. And again, I think foundationally, Jim did a great job of setting us up. So that foundation's there. I don't know that we need right now a GM to do a lot of the management in the U.S. If I can have a sales manager to help you guys with the activity, just keeping people motivated, trained, information, communication, etc. That's my goal right now. So that's the focus that I have. And then obviously, what I'd love to do is I'd love to get back down there here in the next probably 6 months or so, 7 months, and have a chance to spend some time and do some good business training, give you guys an opportunity to learn a little bit more about the corporate side and who we are and what we do and why we do it the way that we do it. And that would be a big goal for me. And then we also, when we talk about maybe a couple of ideas, Leaders Retreat, Power Mountain, but I think Leaders Retreat would be more apropos. We want to try to see if we can get more of the Australians to a destination. I won't say where. I'm working on that still. But I think it would be a spot that I could have probably 3 different continents really focused on getting there. And if I can do it that way, then I've got the right people that would be able to attend it. There may be some people that are stragglers that won't get there, and I won't tell you who they are. You'll know when I tell you where the destination is.
Great. Australia's a great location to have it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So question regarding the products. So there's quite a few products being released or coming up and enhancements. So from your perspective, what's the most exciting, I guess, top 2 products that you see that personally you're excited by and that you can see massive growth for as well? Look, you're smiling.
You know what? There are a couple of products that I think you guys are going to find very, very interesting. One that Tom has been talking about a lot on Facebook is a hydrogen powder, which we'll be calling Sisel H6, S-T-I-X, and there'll be little stick packs that you'll be able to pour into a water bottle and be able to have the hydrogen that will give you a massive flood of hydrogen in the body. The cool thing about that is that on the machines we're getting somewhere between 1 and 3 parts per million of hydrogen. The hydrogen powder is actually creating about 15 parts per million.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's a huge difference. And that one is so beneficial in so many ways for so many different walks of life that I see it hitting so many demographics that I guess that's probably why I'm the most excited about it, because it really does so much for the human body. And even Jason Goff, who I know you had on the call, I don't know, a month ago or so, maybe 3 weeks ago, Jason does triathlons and has even finished Ironman. And so he knows his body pretty well.
Yeah.
He was, we've got a few samples laying around the office, obviously, and so we all are trying to sleep and take as much as we possibly can. And Jason has been using it somewhat irregularly whenever he can get his hands on one of the sachets. But he has been using it, and he said, look, I can't lie. I feel amazing after I take it. And he said, and I know my body. He goes to the gym every day and makes sure that he's training properly, and he knows the energy that he's feeling. And it's not the same type of energy. It's not a caffeine buzz or rush. It's not anything else. It's pure hydrogen, that diatomic hydrogen fueling the body. So that's a hot one. You guys have probably heard Tom talk about 10X, I would assume.
Yes.
That is a very hot product. I'm trying to make it hotter for people that are into sport and fitness, because I think it could be one of the greatest pre-workout drinks that I've ever seen.
Really?
Yep. So you would have pre-workout in 10X with all kinds of wonderful things happening with the body. All I need is a little bit more natural stimulation, if you will. Maybe a little caffeine. But from the standpoint of having a really great product, that one's going to be hot. But then you've got Ripped behind it that is a post-workout, and there's nothing like it. I mean, it's an amazing product. So those two combined will really create a system that I think will be unbelievable. And Katie, I know you're in the gym constantly. I think you'll be one of those that just says, I cannot believe how great I'm feeling just on even those 3 products. I know I don't know how much you spend a month, probably $500, $600, $700 on yourself.
Yeah.
Yourself healthy. But, we all do it because, okay, well, if that's good, then that one probably will be better. And maybe I should add this one to my regime, and maybe I should add that one. All of those things start to happen. And pretty soon you're taking, I made the joke the other day that I wake up in the morning and I've got my different age pill, brain vitality, TSX. I've got Core Restore that I take in the morning, and I've got Balanced D. Well, by the time I was in a rush the other day, and so I put all 21 capsules in my hand at once, and then I threw them in my mouth, and I drank the water, and they were all fighting for position to get down my throat. Then they started to gel together, and pretty soon it was like an asteroid with all the capsules going out different directions. And I was kind of choking, and my wife said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, ah, ah. But the fact was that I need that. I need it every day. And so I was running out the door, and I wasn't going to miss some time when I was trying to make sure that I had that in my body, fueling my system with the nutrients that I need to have a great, healthy life. So, yeah, it's hard for me to pick out two, but I'll tell you what, those two that are coming up are going to be the hot ones.
Fantastic. And the 10X, so we'll still have the Sisel World, and then we'll have the 10X next to it. So what are the main, I guess, benefits being promoted for the 10X? Is it the muscle growth?
Yeah, I think you're going to see the muscle growth, the vasodilation. There's just a lot of components to it that give you, from proteins to amino acids that aren't necessarily the essentials, branch chains, et cetera, that you're going to find in this product that are just unbelievable. But then you've got a good dose of arginine that's going to give you your vasodilation, obviously. And then there are different components that Tom's found, the myostatin inhibitors. As we age, obviously, I'm 51 now, so I'm dealing with things that I didn't deal with 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 years ago that I'm dealing with now in terms of my body, the way it reacts to certain things, as well as the myostatin as it starts to close off the ability for your body to release. This opens it up again and really allows the body to flood itself with muscle building elements that we don't get from our normal diet and type of supplements. So that's what Tom's been very focused on. Again, like I said, a teeny bit of caffeine might help me get excited about it even more.
Oh, fantastic. And for these products, how good are they at supporting weight loss as well?
Well, the good news is, as you all know, especially with 10X, if you can put on lean muscle mass, the body's about 20% more efficient at burning fat. And so really it's the goal to put on that lean muscle and let it start to just burn off the fat. If you can get in the gym, if you can get on a walk, if you can take the stairs, not the elevator or escalator, if you can do whatever you can to just give yourself a little activity, get the heart rate up a teeny bit, you're going to find that it's going to work fantastic. But if you're in the gym and you're in sport, you're out on a bicycle, you're out running, you're out swimming or training or doing whatever, you're going to find a huge difference. And again, I think you're going to find that you're going to strip off the fat and you're going to start to see some good lean muscle come on the body.
Fantastic. It sounds really exciting. We're thrilled that we have these fabulous products and very grateful as well. And
yeah, it's going to be good.
Tom was telling me last night that the 10X will be really good for putting our body into ketosis as well, which is something that we're hearing a lot of people talking about, this ketogenic lifestyle. So the 10X will really be good for that as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, super well.
Great. And just one other question: with the hydrogen stick, does it make the water bubbly after you've cracked the stick?
Yeah. So here's the interesting thing. You want to try to fill up the headspace on a water bottle. Let's say that's a good example. Let's say you just got a regular water bottle that you got. I happen to have one on my desk. And so when you pour the stick in it, cap it off, and literally within 30 seconds to a minute, your bottle starts to become so tight that it's hard to squeeze it. Where normally, you've got a bottle that's fairly full, and literally over the course of then a minute, 2 minutes, it's become so firm that when you take the cap off, you think you're going to hear air explode, but it doesn't. But of course, all of that molecular activity, when you know that molecule is the smallest molecule in hydrogen, it's trying to escape anyway. So you want to drink it as fast as you can, but you'll definitely see a lot of bubbling in there. And we're going to do some cool things over time. Tom wants to get it out as quick as possible, but we're going to actually have something that reacts when the hydrogen starts to kick off. And you might see a color change.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
That'd be good.
So there's things that we're playing with that that are cool. But the stick itself, I know Doc's going to show everybody the stick tomorrow. He came down today, and like all of us, he comes to the candy store here at the manufacturing facility, and so he said, "Hey, can I buy a few things?" And he walked out with an armload full of goodies that he was excited about. But one of them was one of those little sample stick packs we have floating around that I made sure he had so that he can show everybody. I think he's going to do it. I'm pretty sure he's going to do it tomorrow.
Oh,
so, yep, I'll be able to show you exactly how it works.
Great.
Yep, I'll do a live demonstration here on Facebook.
Excellent. Well, we'll look forward to that. So yeah, that's about all I have questions for you. So I really appreciate your time today, Aaron, and thank you for getting on the call. I know you're extremely busy and you just got a lot to do for us here.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I always tell people, especially during the workday where we've got a bunch of people that are, in the office, and so we've got finance meetings and we've got legal meetings and compliance issues and other things that are just so boring that these types of calls for me are like, oh, I got to go. I got to go do a call with everybody. So I'm all for it. I love doing these, and again, it's fun to give updates. And I really appreciate you, Katie. I mean, one of the big things is I know that you and Kurt really put together a commitment quite a while ago, and you guys have lived up to that commitment to make sure that you're on this call every single Saturday morning, of course, for Doc every Friday night, and making sure that people are getting the information that they need, the communication from you guys, anything you can gather out of corporate. I know you ask me a lot of questions on a daily basis, and make sure that you've got all the things that you need to give your people the information they need to go out and continue to build their business. So from that commitment, I appreciate each one of you, and everybody on the call. You wouldn't be on this call if it weren't for the fact that you're committed to making Sisel this great company that we know it is and will be. We're going to see it in Australia as you guys continue to, again, get that foundation down. You guys are going to have phenomenal success. So remember what I said about making sure that we have some people on the call today, I'm sure, that may know some people within the industry that maybe have a corporate background. I would love to interview them. I'd love to see their CV and have a chance to look over and find somebody that's dynamic enough to support you guys and give you guys the help you need to grow and build and have a successful time. So that's my goal as well.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thanks for jumping on with this format. I love the format because we can see you live. People can interact. They can feel like they see your face while you're talking. It does make a difference.
It does. I actually like it. I'm glad you did it. I just me with technology, I'm never sure if I'm going to be able to pull it off. But Doc, if you can do it, I feel like I can too.
Right? Yeah, I've got Katie and my youngest boy. They're the ones that are backing me, and they're saying, "Hey, Kurt, you can't quit. You got to keep doing this. You started it, now you got to finish."
Love it. I love it.
Well, Aaron, I'll let you close out the call. If there's anything that you want to say, kind of close out with everybody. We've got a lot of people watching. I know we'll get a lot of views on the recording. Anybody that's on the call right now, if you could, on Facebook, if you give us the thumbs up, give us the old smiley face, the hearts, let us know that you're watching. Maybe take and post on there where you're from. The more likes and smiley faces we get, the more that the call goes out. People see it and they react to it. And really, the more views we get, the more sales you're going to get. And really, it's a business about sales. That's where we make our commission. So, Aaron, I'm going to hand it over to you, and I'll let you close out the call.
Well, Doc Fizz and Katie, thanks for having me on the call. And of course, I will tell you that I'm certainly impressed with everything I'm seeing. We're having great success and great growth. Not only here in America, but we're seeing it in Australia. We're seeing a lot of activity down there, and activity's key. I'm telling you guys, if you don't realize how important it is to have these team calls, to get together and socialize, to get together and train, to get together and help people come out of their comfort zone. Giving me an opportunity to stand up in front of a group of people, and I may not be very comfortable with it. I'll tell you what will happen. You'll have great success when you do it that way. Give people an opportunity to just expand themselves and feel like they have the ability to learn a little bit as they grow, and that's really the key. And then, of course, I always say this. It's one of my little trademark signature, sayings. But the fact is that I love this industry because you can't do it alone. The only way that you can become successful is when you help others become successful with you. So you have to help people become successful, you have to give them the tools and the keys and the strategy and the vision that you have, but then they have to go out and do the work. That's the important part. You can't do their work for them. I can tell you that right now. And we had a discussion yesterday in terms of a new starter kit, a new starter guide that we're coming out with. I've got this new director of marketing that I mentioned earlier, Jason Goff. He's phenomenal. He's such a great guy. And one of the things that I tasked him with was the starter kit. I think people need to go out armed and dangerous with information that they have at their fingertips when they get their first order. They have something in their hands, tangible, to walk out with brochures and catalogs and all kinds of things. The interesting thing is we were talking about it, and they came in and asked me a couple of questions, and they said, "Hey, are we a 3x3 or are we a 5x5 or whatever the case is?" I said, "Look, it's unlimited. Your width is your width, and your growth downline is downline. Whatever you can do, it's up to you. It's your choice. What you want to do, though, is identify kind of those top 5 key figures that we've talked about in the past, Doc, Fizz, and Katie, where we've talked about, getting your initial return on your investment, trying to get your product paid for every month and make sure that it's free, that you're not out of pocket, that you're not in the red trying to build a business, trying to identify a lifestyle change, giving about $500 to $1,000 a month extra in your account, giving yourself the opportunity to move into that $1,000+ and then really where do you want to be in the future? And that's your goal that you need to set. Where do you want to be? And then take that number of people that you have in your organization, what's the average spend that they're putting in as monthly volume, and then work backwards from your goal number. Let's say it's $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 a month. You then work backwards and divide out those numbers of people and then times it to get back to your original number. And whatever that number is for you, that's your number. It's not my number, not anybody else's number. It's your number. It's your goal. And once you figure out exactly where it is, then you can start taking the steps necessary to start climbing that staircase to your ultimate goal. And that's really where you want to look at getting to as time goes on. So I certainly applaud everybody on this call. I will tell you, it's fun to be on here with you. It's an exciting time, but I'll tell you what, next Saturday, I think you ought to drag about, 20 more of your friends to this call or 100 more of your friends. It's about the person that you're dragging to this call, bringing to the call, inviting to this call, to be on the call. And for those of you that are guests, brand new people on this week, welcome. And for those of you that are just guests and looking at Sisel for the first time, call back the person, get back with the person that invited you, find out what it is that gets people so excited. Here I am sitting in Salt Lake City, Utah, or Springville, just outside of Salt Lake. Doc Fizz came by today, picked up a bunch of product. We spent about an hour chatting about different things, life, and all of the things that are great in our world. And then he took off and he's going down to enjoy the outdoors for a couple of days. Well, the fact is, these are relationships that are built that will never go away. We have relationships that are friendships, that are true friendships, genuine, that we have a chance to spend time together and enjoy each other. And that's really what I love about this business, because you do have people that are like-minded, that are interested in going the same direction, locking arms, embracing each other, and pulling into this incredible family called Sisel. So with that, I'll tell you, everybody have a great day, have a great weekend, and I'll look forward to being on the next call as soon as you possibly will invite me.
Thanks, Aaron. I appreciate it. Thanks, Katie. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. And again, get this out to everybody, share it with people, and let them know what's going on. And for those of you that are new, check it out. Check out Sisel. Order a couple products and try them. See what they do. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.